Hereby I request Attorney General of India to enlighten us on today's topic.
My dear friend Venkatramani is a powerful speaker. I think you should not have been told to discontinue your speech. I think you should have spoken a little more, and perhaps I would have loved to listen to it a little more. And firstly, let me welcome all my young sisters and brothers here who form part of what Venkatramani was trying to convey, the wealth of the nation. Not the Adam Smith way, but the Bharatiya way. The wealth of the nation. So all of us here are part of the wealth of the nation. Why do we need to talk about Swami Vivekananda national development? And what did he say about himself? When he asked a question, what will happen after I quit this planet Earth? He wrote this. Do you think that there will be no more Vivekanandas after I die? There will be no lack of Vivekanandas if the world needs them. Thousands and millions of Vivekanandas will appear. From where knows who? Know for certain that the work done by me is not the work of Vivekananda, it is his work. The Lord's own work. If one Governor General retires, another is sure to be sent to his place by the Emperor, said Swami Vivekananda. All of us, in a sense, are Swami Vivekanandas. We are all Governor Generals sent by the Emperor from somewhere to be part of this wonderful planet. Let us remember, to think of the nation, we are part of the wonderful planet. This planet needs us to be Vivekanandas. I think that's what the great message we can probably gather every minute and every leave of our life, if you put it like that. Nation building, what do we understand by it today? Let me gather a few thoughts. Material development can be incomplete. We all talk about material development. Material development can be incomplete without social development. Social development can be incomplete without cultural development. These two can be incomplete without accomplishment of equal regard and equality. These two can be incomplete without individual fulfillment. No nation, therefore, can live and sustain in isolation, and all these connected accomplishments are part of nation building. So when an individual majors in the nation, and the nation becomes part of the individual, then that's the first step in a nation building. But today we are caught in different strands of thought, ideologies, still trying to go back to past and cling us from moving into the future. I would like to digress for a minute. In the past 100 years, even a little more, because today we are talking about constitution, constitutional morality, so on and so forth. So in the past 100 to 150 years, the world has seen several attempts in ideologies, thoughts, deeds, actions, revolutions, social motion, processes to bring happiness to each individual and to nations and groups and sections of people. Every ideology, every thought that is the final word of truth on accomplishment and the pursuit of happiness, as the US Constitution talks about. But we all know by now that every such ideology or a stand on truth is only partial and it cannot be final and complete. It's in that context we, as a nation, are called upon probably to open up new chapters on what can constitute a national development. When Venkatramani talked about how a futuristic vision is pushing us virtually into a pursuing of goals beyond domestic narrow walls, which what Toggle talked about. So it's in this context we need to talk about what national development, and that is entirely different from what probably Swami Vivekananda was talking about in 1890 when he went to Chicago. But then there's a very beautiful connection. The beautiful connection is when he said, this nation knew much more than the rest of the world, because it knew about tolerance, it knew about diversity. So it's in the kernel of tolerance and diversity lie, I think, in today, our ability to move forward in unleashing several new understandings of individual fulfillment and national development. Swami Vivekananda himself talked very eloquently about equality. He said, I don't agree with the understanding of equality as it exists today. We talk about equality at a particular plane, having the constitutional textbook on our hands. We keep it on our hand thinking about what France talked about, liberty, fraternity, and equality. But the real equality can only if all these paths of human accomplishment and fulfillment can take place in a non-coercive, participatory way. Non-coercive, participatory way. Revolutions are coercive, non-participatory ways. That's why certain ideologies have failed. Vivekananda did not believe in those ideologies. The pursuit of truth, if it is not connected to the pursuit of happiness, both can fail. That's what Swami Vivekananda felt throughout his life. And therefore today, the governance, we are again going into future, then planning for a futuristic vision and so on and so forth. We are still caught with certain ideas which are the birthmarks of the past. I don't wish to characterize the Constitution as something which is holding us from going into the future. We all tried as lawyers, we have built a lot of languages about it. It's a living organic document. But if we ourselves are living organic document, the Constitution cannot be. So today governance has to be a collective karma yoga. It has to be a collective bhakti yoga, and it has to be a collective raga yoga, and finally it has to be a collective jnana yoga. So if governance can become all of this, when as individuals, as Swami Vivekananda told us, as our own scriptures told us, that in order to be a complete person, a human being who is not isolated or divided or alienated from the rest of the world, you have to have your karma yoga, you have to have your bhakti yoga, raja yoga, ultimately jnana yoga. And we blend all of them together, and we have a corpus of understanding and way of life. And today governance will have to be like this, as a collective. And how does it become a collective karma, jnana, bhakti, jnana yoga? So we need two elements. One, a material element and a material plane called the Constitution. The other, the higher levels of existence. The other, higher levels of existence. Where mind will have to, allow it to fly as high as possible. When I say mind is not an intellect, it is the ability to connect to the universe. Our ability, our keenness, our yearning to constantly connect to the universe. Vivekananda did that. And he did that through his master in his own way, setting up this huge mission called Ramakrishna Mission, which is like a huge banyan tree today. So our ability of yearning to connect to the universe and then also join our journey in the material plane, I think that's a beautiful connection. And that's what this nation has told us, has given to us. These are wonderful treasures. We have to probably not only able to nurture them, but preserve them. Today there are big challenges to the preservation. The big challenges to preservation come from various ends, various parts of the globe in different forms. So we have to very keenly perceive these challenges. So we are not, I don't think we'll be talking about national development merely at a very economic plane. As I said, therefore, all development levels, the intrinsic connection is understood by each and every one of us. I think that's going to be a first great step towards national development. Probably we should be writing a constitution at the yoga level. You want to put it like that. We have a constitution at the material level. We have a constitution at the yogic level. Then that will be a very important, what we call spiritual accomplishment of this great nation in the coming years to come. And all of us, as I said, so Vivekananda said, more and more Vivekanandas will come. As I said, we are all of us, in our own little small ways, or as big as we can become, Vivekanandas in one sense or the other. And that's what we ought to be. And we ought to be talking about that. Whether as lawyers, we can keep talking about what law can do, what constitution can do, what our institutions can do, and so on and so forth. It's very important. But I think as I look at the goals which this nation is poised to pursue, and its ability to pursue, as I look at them in my own little way, humble way, I think this is how it's going to be. Are we prepared for all that? The challenge is, are we prepared for all that? In order to be prepared for all that, we need to rise, fly as high as possible. And in the depths of the ocean, dip as deep as possible. Let me prepare for that. If that's the way I look at Vivekananda's national development, I think whenever they said, Swamiji talked about transparency, accountability, and credibility, all of them are part of Karma Yoga. All of them are part of Jnana Yoga also. So all that Vivekananda said, Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Jnana Yoga, let us not put them into departmentalized, compartmentalized way, like the Western intellectual analytical thought does, where only is taught to separate aspects of the same way of pursuing truth. If you take out Bhakti Yoga, perhaps you will miss something. Jnana Yoga, you will miss something. Therefore, they are all aspects of one way of fundamental, earning a pursuit of truth. If that is understood and we're able to merge it in the larger human consciousness today, Sri Aurobindo talked about it. And he said about the secret of Vedas he was talking about. So we had these very illustrious thinkers in the last century who were essentially a product of British colonial imperialism and who dreamt of a beautiful nation in future. We have the treasure house of all their knowledge, wisdom, and contribution. Let us preserve them, let us indulge in them, let us be with them, and be part of that movement. And we're able to do that, I'm sure, we will be part of Swami Vivekananda's futuristic vision of Bharatiya growth. And I think we should be doing that. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir, for enlightening us